Good afternoon and welcome in to another Titan Talks. Kilgoon joining me once again, alongside Manny, to bring you, this episode of the Titan Talks today. We don't have a lot to cover at the moment because pretty big patch coming next week. Well, not next week, the week after, but we're working towards getting that information out.
Yeah. Talking about a lot of stuff next week.
Yeah.
Today, we did have Tsukuyomi's aspect going live this morning.
We did.
Which is exciting. But
I even reminded the team to put it on. So I was like, hey, is that gone out yet? And they're like, oh, no. So that just went out this morning. Yep.
Yeah, usually just if you're new to the show, the flow generally is that the week that a patch comes out, we're usually a little bit slower. We're usually taking more questions and just, listening to the community. The week that a PTS is, we usually spend more time talking about what's coming out.
Yeah.
So this is another kind of Q&A show. We have a little bit of things to review that have happened, but otherwise we're kind of taking it easy today. And
I feel bad because I want to bring something, but I'm like, what do we even talk about when we've got so much going on next week?
There's a lot. We'll see what all ships. Like
I know.
I feel like this has been the ongoing story here, where I feel like for like a while now, I've been like, we have so much in the works, but we do just have like a lot in the works right now, and it's just like, when is it in a good place to ship versus
just forcing out there basically when it takes a bit more time. A couple of hot fixes that went out the last couple of days since we were on Titan Talks. Just going to quickly recap some of the bigger focal points that you will have. Mercury Ultimate passing through enemies, that's been fixed. We continue to look at Mercury and continue to try and address any issues we see there.
That's specifically
still
the
a work in
ult.
progress. Yeah.
So the ult not affecting people. I know that there are still some reports around the 3.
Yeah.
And we are still investigating those, right? But specifically the Mercury ult issues are hopefully addressed.
Should be resolved. Tsukuyomi as well had an issue with his one where the slow can now probably be cleansed.
Yes,
it
was
wasn't
uncleansable.
OP. And additionally, we also had some Aladdin stuff go on regarding his respawns. These are basically nerfs, is what I'll say, but they're actually bug fixes at the same time. However, Aladdin can no longer respawn and be invisible if he uses his resurrect really quick. Pretty big nerf. And second of all, if you kill someone inside your ultimate, their channeled abilities stop dealing damage, is what was going on. So let's just say you got hit by a Cupid ultimate while inside the Aladdin ultimate as the Aladdin. You don't take damage if you kill the Cupid before it detonates. Basically channeled abilities.
Yeah. Interesting.
So 2 nerfs for Aladdin, but 2 bug fixes at the same time. Fixed an issue with Aegis as well, with self-silencing and disarming. Basically, it could be cleansed by Magi's Cloak. So stuff that could cleanse you.
We've run into this
affecting
before.
it.
Yeah. So interesting the Magi's Cloak was doing that now.
But it was making you able to still cast and do abilities. And then also we fixed an issue with Gebs 2 that was reducing item proc damage both on normal and aspect in terms of distance. So they've been addressed as well. Obviously,
that one was like, if you had Arcane Signet, because the damage of the 2 scales based on how close you are to your target.
Yeah.
The damage of the Signet was also scaling, which is not the intent.
But it shouldn't have been intended on an aspect either, because aspect should be still full damage, but that's been addressed as well. Obviously, a lot of different things that go on behind the scenes of other UI changes and updates like that, but I'm just going to recap all those there for you. But what questions does chat have for us today? I guess is the first one. I should have said that earlier before we recap that, I guess.
Yeah. We're heading into the weekend. Don't have too much exciting other than aspect coming out today.
Should have done a promo for Smite Prime there, because Smite Prime is at the weekend on Saturdays consistently. Check out the esports for this month of September, where I believe they're going into week 2 this week. And you get to see some of the top players. Honestly, there's still plenty of good competition going on. You can check out and see what people are building, especially with the new patches. I think that's one of the things I appreciate about them, is the fact that I get to see the high players play, see what they're building, see where they're starting on the rotations, and then try to adapt that.
Just copy that. Yeah,
that's always been the lesson with MOBAs for the most part anyway.
Yeah.
So
follow what the pros are doing, and you'll probably perform a little bit better.
It's a good baseline.
Yep. Well, I understand you can't exactly say what the changes are. Can you tell us if the changes that are being worked on are more for new player retention, for presentation, or for gameplay conquest changes? It's really all of the above. We have things in flight in all of those categories. There's a question of, what ships win, right? Some of the stuff. So game design is a very experimentative process. It is pretty impossible to tell what is going to be fun until you try it, right?
Sure.
You can have ideas based on things you've done and seen before, but even still, applying all the lessons you learned before, even if you copy something another game has done exactly, it doesn't mean it's going to work in your game, and it doesn't mean it's going to be fun, right? So there are certain things that just require a lot of experimentation, and we can be working on something for a while internally, and it never gets to a point where we want to ship it, that, for a while, one of Titan Talk's big things was a chat was like, what about Baron aspect? Because I said that we were working on a Baron aspect.
Sure.
And that idea just wasn't fun. And so we tabled it and we came back, with other things. So I think that some things are an easier path to shipping, where it's like a very clear targeted improvement of, we know we need to get the pick 3 item store into the normal store.
Yeah.
And knowing what done looks like is very frequently a challenge in any kind of project, but especially in game design. So things that what done are, I can be better projecting about when it's going to ship and when it's going to be done. But a lot of stuff we're working on right now is more addresses all those areas, but does it in ways that it's less defined when we will get it to a point where we're like, yeah, this is fun. This is something we can ship.
Yeah. I definitely think it's a pipeline as well of you put all these things of this is the target date, this will get released. But sometimes there's knock-on effects that just delay things or I almost feel like we're always here going, hey, there's things coming, but there's always things coming.
Yeah.
It's just we don't know. We can't really spoil stuff because it might be spoiled too far out or never reach the light of day for various reasons.
Yeah, and I like to talk about things when I'm pretty confident that they're going to happen, right? But
that's why I keep quiet most of the time, because I'm like, more for sure of definitely what is going to be happening.
Yeah, it's I've mentioned before that the match lobby is something that we're in the process of reworking, and I've mentioned that the first design didn't look very good, and so we went with a different direction. This new direction is coming along pretty well. I'm kind of hopeful that it will ship in the next update, but I'm not 100% sure that we'll get it done. But at some point, match lobby update will be shipping, right? There's other things that are more gameplay side that are just much more experimentative, that it's if I talk about them, then we will be asked about them for the rest of our lives, even if we're no, this is just an experiment, right?
True.
So it's always a fine line between what I feel comfortable sharing and what's a little bit too early to talk about.
Are we spoiling anything today? No, I don't believe we've got anything to really spoil.
Unless we accidentally spoil some things, you never know.
That's the most scared I am on this show every time is asking you before we go live of what have we announced again? Because I'm just always lost in the source of what is to come, what has been released already or announced rather.
Will we see Ben on the show for Shibulanki or Osiris release? We do need to get Ben on the show again. I know everybody loves listening to hearing him talking about art.
Yeah.
And we had the early versions of the models shown earlier. But yeah, we can try and get him on again sometime soon.
Yeah, we'll see if it works out. Not the next Friday, the Friday after maybe could work. Unless you had him on for the Shibulanki. I know, we could talk something like
that. Do people on the team look at concepts and stuff on social media? Yeah, we definitely look at design concepts. We look at skin concepts. We look at god art concepts. We look at everything. Yep. I can't say that we read every single thing that gets posted because we just might not see it, but we read the vast majority of things. I will say if the hardest thing is a god design pitch, right? Because it's very rare that we're going to take anything from a god design pitch directly. But it's really fun as a player to come up with god design pitches, right? So that's not me saying don't do it, but it's just when we go back and look at god, if there's a god that's on our calendar that we want to do, frequently we'll search the Reddit and be okay, what are all the design pitches that have ever been posted about this god?
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
And in my opinion, the point of that is to understand what are player expectations around the general sorts of things that this god should do in a game like Smite, because you always want to make sure that you're meeting or exceeding expectations, or you're just so out of left field that people are this is this crazy other amazing thing I didn't even
expect that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's important to understand what the expectation is around a new god. But it's less we're going to take an ability wholesale. It may be this is just not an example, but if you're making Ra as a god, there's going to be a ton of design pitches that are various ways to use his light.
Yeah.
And we would interpret that as okay, well, his entire kit needs to be focused around sunlight. So what are the different ways that we could adapt sunlight into an ability kit, And what are the things that sunlight can do? Sunlight can blind people. Sunlight can heal people. It's nice to sit in the sun, Mm-hmm. Sunlight can deal damage to people if, you get burned too much, right? And it's okay, let's take all of those different aspects of what the character can do based on their powers, and then let's interpret them into a kit that makes holistic sense. So,
yeah, I get that. That makes a lot of sense. I think as well, when you see all the ability kits and stuff, a lot of people, it's a great idea because sometimes I've seen so many kits over the years, people have suggested ideas that they end up in other kits.
Yeah.
Unrelated. But it was just like,
yeah.
hey, this is just a cool idea in general that does fit thematically to different people's ideas. Bathe in the glow.
Yeah, Bathe in the Glow. How's Mulan doing since the changes? I don't have data yet on how Mulan's doing. I don't know if Graham does.
You know what? I was expecting someone to ask the question about how's Suki doing because I actually did some prep yesterday.
Okay.
Because we got remember yesterday on the Wednesday show we were discussing we didn't have data come through yet.
Yeah.
So I saw some early data. I could say Suki's doing pretty well. In terms of like I'd say it's in the top 10 of gods at the moment, which is kind of standard for a newer god anyway. Not just because of the kit being strong or whatever. Just you see a lot of play with them, and a lot of people are still having to learn and adapt to them. Mulan. I'll have a quick scan. I would say she's doing okay according to the statistics I'm looking at here. She's doing okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Good to hear.
Above Tsukuyomi is all I'm going to say.
You what?
Above Tsukuyomi.
Above Tsukuyomi.
Is what I will say based on what I just saw there.
Okay.
So there you go.
Are any of the more controversial gameplay-wise gods, I'm not going to specifically read them, planned for the foreseeable future? Surely you don't want all of the gods that need more attention from design piling up. Yeah, so the way that we plan out the order of gods is kind of a mixture of things that are hard and easy for different departments.
Yeah.
You don't want to stack like, let's do several hard gods in a row.
Yeah.
And you don't want to stack, let's just do easy gods. I mean, at one point when we were very early in development, we were stacking pretty much exclusively easy gods. Like when we were in that first race to free to play to get as many gods out before free to play as we could. But recently we've been kind of trying to mix in a blend of like a couple hard gods, a couple easy gods, a couple hard, like kind of alternating to where it's a different, you're not overworking any department, but everybody's always busy.
Balanced. I guess it's balanced across because it's multiple teams. It's not just like the developers. Like, it's not like Pawn and Clumsy who are there iterating on the kits. It's also the rigging team and stuff like that that have to go behind the scenes and do stuff on the artists too. So trying to find that balance. I mean, Yeoman God is a good example.
Yeah.
Recently, like I wouldn't say he's an easy challenge for some departments.
No, he's a very challenging god. Giannis is a very challenging god. True. We've done a few harder gods recently. It's just, it's not that we are avoiding hard gods at this point.
Yeah.
There are some that are like especially hard that are harder to work into the schedule. Like the number one poster boy for that is like King Arthur right now.
Right.
Just because there's some other tech work that we need to get done kind of first before we get back to him. But a lot of the gods, are in the realm of like, yeah, we could do them. We're just going to make sure we work them into the schedule.
I think that's the question when people go, which ones are easy or hard? I'm like, well, actually, I think they all have different aspects of being easy and hard as well as the problem. So just try not to stress out one team over and over again going, okay, we're going to take all the really challenging rig requirement gods and you guys are going to do those for 3 months in a row.
Yeah.
Would be quite tricky.
Yeah. It's, and there's a lot of, I don't want to say negotiation, but a discussion between design and programming and art to try and find the schedule that's the best for everybody, right? Because there's always going to be, this is a harder time for one department, this is an easier time for one department, but on the whole, how do we balance it out to where it feels fair and achievable?
Agreed. Tekken Nooper keeps asking about that plushie Ganesha. I'll reach out to you. I tried to on Wednesday, actually, regarding that question about the Ganesha plushie skin. But contact the streamer you got it from. They should be able to get in touch and sort that out for you. But I'll try and reach out to you after this.
Yeah, and no updates on the movement system. Haven't looped back on that yet. We've been working on some other things.
Any thoughts on a magical pro item? A magic pro anti-crit item. I can see some potential benefits there.
Yeah. Maybe.
I think my argument with that would be is like crits generally built by physical, so you would really want. It's kind of a bit.
What
of
about
best of
Jungle
both worlds.
Bacchus? I mean, come on.
I mean, I guess okay. Yeah, we're going to go that route. Sure. It definitely feels like a more of physical defense, but I do understand the need for maybe some defensive crit.
I would prefer ports for cool characters instead of making new ones. Yeah, we're that's kind of what we're focused on right now.
Exactly.
We're porting gods over as quickly as we can. New gods are aren't shipping new gods right now because we're focusing on just getting more of these classic gods, because that's been the feedback that we keep getting from player bases, that they want more of these classic gods over. And, when we bring the classic gods over, we do update them. We add aspects. There are new ways to play them. It's not just like you're getting the old thing. It's, a new spin on it when it does come over. So that's what we're focusing on right now.
Why do executes counter Capriel and not the other way around? I think I was just, in theory, I want to say it was kind of part of the design of Capriel originally, because we had some executes in the game at his origin, and they wanted some sort of, it's kind of a counterplay to it as well. So I don't see any harm in it, because you can revive most people in most situations.
Yeah, I don't know why that was the way it was designed, but it's been choice. The way it was designed.
Yep.
What are the main design challenges with Fenrir? He was announced a while back, but still eagerly anticipating his release.
One day.
I don't understand what this question is even asking. Can we get weak execute on an active? Are you saying like if somebody is like below 2% HP, execute on an active? Like,
great, yeah, sure. Put it on a relic.
It'd be so hard to time. Like, will we ever see a return of mode of the day? Yeah, probably eventually. We had done a little bit of work towards a couple like mode of the day things at one point, but it's just kind of like time spent on mode of the day modes is time not spent making the core modes better, and we know we have work to do there. And adding modes of the day also has the potential of like further splitting the player base into more queues, and so we're a little bit cautious about adding new PvP queues. Did you see the Reddit post where the guy ported the assault map to UE5? Yeah, I did see that.
I didn't actually. No.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a Reddit post. The guy, he updated a lot of the, he brought over the geometry and updated a lot of the textures.
Okay.
But he noted that like there were a lot of things that didn't really work. It was a first blush kind of thing. I think that that's definitely something that we saw, and I thought it was cool. Pass it along to the art team.
Yeah, I was looking through Reddit today. I saw did you see the Sol thread at all? There's a player on Action Cam who just showcased it, and everyone, half the Reddit comments were like, "You played Action Cam, but they were really good kills," and everyone was just really noticing.
That's good. I didn't see that. How does the team feel about sustain items and self-healing now that we've settled in? I think that ultimately, like, that's more of a design question than something that I will give you the gospel. This is the Smite dev opinion on it. I think things feel pretty good. I think that, most of the outliers have been quashed. I think that, maybe there's still a few things that we could look at, but generally speaking, I think it's in a pretty good spot.
SB, I'm not sure which one you're talking about with the Ares 3, but I can reach out to you after this, and I'll ask you questions about what you mean by the CC meme bug. I know we've fixed a couple of issues recently, so I don't know if it's already been hotfixed or not.
Yeah. Did you see the Reddit post of the big pet where you couldn't see past it? Any chance it could be given the Yorm treatment? Yeah, we have had a couple very big Mike Typhons recently, and I don't know specifically about the Yorm treatment for it. Just from a tech perspective, I'm not sure, but that's an interesting idea for sure. I'm ashamed to say it took me 5 seconds to realize that was a mannequin. Manny is very lifelike. He's
very active too.
Yeah,
most of the time.
Yeah, just the blank stare.
Honestly, when I'm actually staring at the camera, I'm mainly staring at Manny. Just relaxes me a little bit. Do you have a soft order for the list of gods? I mean, I don't.
Not for the full list. So, no. We have kind of like a tentative group of like, these are some of the gods that we would like to do. We have a fairly detailed plan 3 to 6 months out, I would say. Actually, I guess at this point, probably closer to 6 months out, we know who we're intending to do. But if something happens and, that list is subject to change.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be real with you. I think in like even June, July, we had a god list that I've seen shift towards the end of this year of what's actually coming out and not coming out. Mm-hmm. So.
And, you never know what things you'll need to work around, right? If you want to do something else, then do you need to swap in an easier god for that patch? Do you,
Yeah, let's just say you want to do a really challenging god, and then that means, well, we're going to need some time here, so we should adjust this god to be this instead.
Someone is sick or needs some PTO that would be needed for a specific god. That's
sickness, the biggest casualty at the moment.
Boring, normal, actual human being concerns that are everybody
that
likes,
get in the way.
Yeah, everybody likes to I think as human beings, we're like innately drawn to like statistics and trying to quantify the unquantifiable.
Sure.
I'm a big baseball fan. Chat knows this. There's this whole push over the past, 30 years of baseball that's called sabermetrics. It's basically like we need to be able to like quantify everything in the sport and optimize towards the things that are quantifiably best, right? There's a really interesting book that came out that was called The Only Rule Is It Has to Work, where these two sabermetrics guys were given control of an independent league baseball team and we're just like, run the team according to your sabermetrics principles and do your best to win, right? And because in a lot of like pro baseball stuff, they've been slow to adopt some of these things. And these guys were like, we're going to show them. And the thing that was most striking to them was like how these people are actually people, right? And you can't just be like, well, the numbers say it's best if this person bats first. It's like, well, this person gets in their feelings if they're not batting first, and then they're going to slump more percentage points than they would otherwise be expected to slump. So you need to balance
human
against
error.
The nature of humanity is a very important factor that people don't think about.
Even like boiling down in a weird way of like even learning experiences. Some people are visual learners, audio learners. Like they engage in different ways, and just different people are different people.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're all great. They're all great at their jobs individually, but they all work in different methods and have effects.
Yeah, I'm very much like a learn by doing kind of person. So I need to like actually hands-on, just get in there and start doing it, and then I like will teach myself how to do the thing that I want to do, and then I'll expand my knowledge by doing it that way.
Bit of both. For me, it's a bit of both. I definitely do. I will take like actual training or just reading YouTube videos. YouTube videos or documents are good, but also I am a hands-on person at the same time. So many Fafnir spammers today. What's with the Fafnir love all of a sudden? It came out of nowhere. I think that's the most interesting thing I've noticed by being on the show more now is that there's a question or two that'll pop up that came out of nowhere. You've not seen any mention of in 3 or 4 months. And then all of a sudden it's like, we've got to mention this. Now someone's spamming Maui. There you go. Mix it up.
There's a growing issue of games being surrendered very quickly. Any way to fix this? As far as I'm aware, that is a metric that we monitor, and I don't believe that it's fallen. Like, I don't think the early surrender rate is higher than normal. It's possible that you just have had a bad personal streak, but I think like on the aggregate, early surrenders are not significantly down. So apologies that you have had a lot of early surrenders because those are not fun.
Yeah, I've not seen an increase of them at all. I mean, honestly, the surrender thing is kind of like it takes at least 4 people to surrender. So.
Yep.
So I'm just taking notes of people reporting bugs in chat as well.
Yep. Any updates on the rest of the lighting changes, conquest changes? A lot of stuff's in progress. Some of it will or won't ship. It's just let's see how development goes here over the next few weeks. We aren't rushing things to rush things because some of the stuff that we're experimenting with is bigger changes. Right?
I think some of it as well is like if we release something in a state that we're still working on and then people give feedback to and stuff, it can have a more long-term knock-on effects.
Well, I think that like there's things that people are good at judging work in progress, and there's things that people aren't.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that like if you ship something that's kind of a big overarching change like that you aren't like really happy with, it leads to more negative feedback than positive feedback. So
I get that.
So we're trying to make sure that things are at least in a good enough state to give feedback on it as like a finished product before we ship those kinds of things. I see a couple questions about the F1 movie. I actually haven't seen it yet because it's in theaters. I think it was only in theaters. Maybe it's on Apple TV now.
No, I think he's just hit. I think it's on Apple TV.
Is it on Apple TV now?
Yeah.
Well, I will have to watch it on Apple TV.
As an F1 fan, I enjoyed it for what it was, even though as an F1 fan, I'm like, this is so far-fetched.
Yeah,
there's a lot of far-fetchedness to it, but at the same time, it'll interest people if you're into racing. Even if you're not, you might get interested.
I'm going to assume it's kind of like Days of Thunder, where it's like not really real, but it's a lot of fun.
There's a lot of things where you're like, in the rules, they get done really bad by the association for sure for some of the things they were doing in the movie, but it was an entertaining movie for sure. I think just F1 in general got a huge popularity surge with Drive to Survive during COVID.
Yeah.
So since then, like F1 kind of blown up.
But yeah, I do want to see the movie. I just haven't had a chance. When you have little kids, it's really hard to go to the movie theaters.
Yeah.
So,
how do we report bugs outside of Titan Talks? Smite2.com/bugs is one. You could also go in game, and in the bottom right hand corner, you will see a bug report section. You can just click on that as well. That will take you to the same place.
And lastly, in the official Smite Discord, there is a bug report. Like, it's not even like a channel.
Just
it's like
it's
like a special section.
It's called a forum or a post thread.
Where you can like post a thread with your bugs.
Yeah.
And we look at all of these. Like, I'm not going to say that we will fix all of these in the same day they are reported, but everything that is reported is looked at, and we triage it and try and get it done. Or update reports if it's something that has previously been reported. So
I was trying to find a really good example of like just checking the bug thread right now. The last bug we got was, and it's someone complaining about two of his teammates not being tanks when they should be.
Yeah, well,
but that's a bug report, you know.
Yeah.
That's what happens sometimes.
We do get a lot of
mixed in
people that
reports.
are, they report interesting things that are not really bugs, but they need a place to talk.
Self-healing numbers have ballooned since the healing changes. In whose opinion, Jelly, has the healing numbers ballooned? Yours maybe, but I'll be honest. I think based off what we're seeing with the healing stuff so far and what the devs have been saying, like it seems to be falling in a fair window. I guess you're just dealing with more sustain in the games, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw something exciting. Wink if Sylvanas 3 will let him move like Mulan 3. That'd be nice. Pulling yourself around the jungle as Sylvanas. That's what they mean.
I see what you're saying.
I always want escapes as a support.
Interesting.
I mean, to be honest, that's one of Sylvanas' weaknesses.
That was didn't
Lack of
Grover move
mobility.
like that in Paladins?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He did the inverse.
Yeah, he was able to like pull himself around.
Well, it's because he was the focus. Sylvanas is the focus. Sylvanas just want to get in there, doesn't he?
Nice.
Wants to use Grover to bring him to him. Yeah.
Yes, in Paladins, Grover did move like that. Awesome. Will we ever get another true cinematic? I will say never, but
That was going to be my answer.
the I guess there's kind of two pieces to it. The first piece is that cinematics have gotten increasingly expensive to produce. And the second one is that gamers like cinematics increasingly less. Whenever gamers are shown a cinematic nowadays, they're usually like, just show me gameplay. Like if people are mad when they're like in a convention or something, like in one of the big shows, if it's a cinematic and it's not actual gameplay, right? And it's very similar in that like using a cinematic as an ad does not perform as well as gameplay a lot of the times. Reddit is upset that our best performing Reddit ad right now is
the Aladdin.
Is a screenshot of Aladdin, of Aladdin with his genie in his lamp. That's a vertical, and I'm going to agree with you guys that it's not the coolest screenshot that I've ever seen of the game. It's
However,
not.
if it's drawing people in,
but it's the best performing thing that I have like 40 things running right now, and it's performing the best over other screenshots, gameplay footage, cinematics, everything. So basically, like, it's hard to justify spending the money on new cinematics when they're very expensive and they don't perform as well as they used to. If they hadn't gotten more expensive, but they performed the same, then it's easier to justify. If they had gotten more expensive, but they performed better, then it would be easier to justify. But like the fact that the two lines are going in opposite directions makes it harder to justify cinematics right now. Doesn't mean we'll never do one again, but just like that's part of why it's not the strategy right now. Do you have a rough estimate on when you'll be able to implement console text chat? No rough estimate. It really just is when we decide that we are willing to not patch for at least 2 weeks, but probably more like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And we can't do it over the holidays because they are on vacation and will not do the certification over that time period. So there needs to be a period of time where we're like, no patches for a month, guys, sorry. And then we can maybe get it in.
And while that would be nice, I think a lot of people complain that we weren't patching or doing stuff.
Yeah.
In that interim, if that was the case. So where is it?
If there's no plans for cinematics or game conventions, how will people hear about Smite? Censored word of my friends have not heard of it. I don't know what the censored word was. So there are a lot of ways that people hear about a game like Smite. There are, like, the number one, every time we've ever surveyed anybody, the number one reason why people play Smite is because a friend told them to play Smite, right? So word of mouth has always been
Number one,
right? Number two is people are looking for a free-to-play game and just looking at what's in the free-to-play game section on Insert Storefront, right? And because we're free, we have the benefit that there's, thousands of people that try the game every day just because it's free and it's there, right? And retaining those people better and giving them a better time then means that they will tell their friends, hey, I just started playing this free game, come play with us. And it kind of leads to this virtuous cycle of like, line goes up.
Yeah.
We are also running advertisements. We're just kind of starting to experiment and scale that up a little bit. Just yesterday, I turned on like very minimal dollars because we're just getting the setup working, but ads on Snapchat and Twitter, or X, whatever the hell it's called these days. I'm gonna keep calling it Twitter.
Yeah, keep changing habits.
And those ads are, like we said, gameplay and screenshots have historically performed better in terms of like acquisition ads because people see a game and they're like, oh, that game looks fun, I'll go try that game. And then they click on the ad and it's free and they play the game, right? Yeah. So there are things that are basically, it's just, the question isn't like, are we going to spend money to let people know about the game? The question is, what is the best way to spend money to let people know about the game? And it's like, do you spend it on a cinematic that has questionable return on investment? Do you spend it on going to a convention where a few thousand people are going to see the game and a smaller percentage of that are going to play? Or do you spend that money on direct action ads where it's like, hey, this game looks cool, come play the game? And historically, we've seen that the latter is the better approach.
Will we get another good attempt at Smite lore? I mean, I'm never going to say never to more Smite lore stuff because I do think it was very interesting, but it's not top of the shop of priorities at the moment. Obviously, lore is cool to have for the game to, bring in some more camaraderie to it. But I think the actual aspects of the game are the more important thing for us to work on right now, rather than trying to flesh out a made-up lore. Is basically what I'd say of how all these gods interact.
Yeah, and I think that
it's got benefits to it.
There's benefits to it, but it's like it's just not, It makes more sense when you're doing ongoing story events in the game, right? And so once we get to that point, maybe there's more lore that comes back to it.
Yeah, I guess my brain just went straight to the Cthulhu and Zeus, standoff.
Yeah, almost. I love that.
Yeah, they look great, but yeah.
Any thoughts on the remaining starter items from Smite 1 returning? I think that there's room for more starter items. I don't necessarily know if we want to bring over the remaining Smite 1 ones exactly. But yeah, that's something that, we could explore in the future.
Yeah.
Starter items aren't the next thing on our list, but they are. We have a big list of things that we can revisit and we want to make better. And then we just kind of pick our way down the list. And, we're working on other things at the moment.
Again, it's always rough the show before we start being able to talk about stuff next week because there's so many things in the pipeline.
Yeah, I'm hoping we'll get to talk about a lot of this stuff next week.
Yeah, it's likely, but we just don't want to
comes together. If you could add any item
Hand of the Gods.
Smite 1, Hand of the Gods, yeah.
Hog is what I'd say.
The stunning one.
So we'll read the question because I went straight to the end today. If you could add any item from Smite 1's past, what would it be? Mine would be Hand of the Gods.
Yeah,
which is kind of like Asunder, but better, but worse. It just made objective play more interesting in my eyes once upon a time, but I don't know if it would work in this day and age.
It was good. It was a lot of fun. I loved early beta stealing objectives all the time, you know, you can kind of do that with Sunder now, but and I do like the.
It's different. Yeah,
it's different. You know.
Well, I mean, back in Smite when I used to, like, the health bar used to change yellow for you to know exactly when you need to do it. You need to read the numbers. The damage amount was ridiculously large, yada yada. So
I'm gonna say maybe a weird choice, but E-Staff.
I don't know. I thought you were going to say something like Mannequin Scepter for some reason.
No, I like
E-Staff?
E-Staff is a really fun item. It like enables a lot of like weird things.
Makes you a little bit tankier, but still gives you damage.
Yeah, I just think it works on a lot of like brawler, magey, guardian-y kind of builds. And I think it's a good solo lane item. It's good in arena. Like it's a fun item. Are there? Hey, is there any merch to showcase yet?
Oh, go ahead. I don't know how we're going to do this on camera. It's probably best for you to just lean into that camera.
Me? Okay.
Honestly.
All right. Let's see.
So one of our, obviously we've got a merch license out that anyone can actually claim from us and apply for. And you can actually use some of our artwork and our stuff in the game to showcase.
It's not going to focus. Can I just do this? Is this?
Try it this way. Yeah. That's okay. I am not a hand model either. This is terrible.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, no, it's not focusing at all. No.
Okay. So, anyway, Celestial Wicks is what we're discussing here.
Celestial Wicks.
Luna Rarity, one of our ambassadors, and he's a part of the stream team as well, has been making candles that they've got on sale right now. You can head over to Celestial Wicks OR on Etsy, and these are all different smells and I was going to say flavors.
I don't think you should eat them, probably.
Yeah, I've not tried eating them, but sometimes there's a lot of stuff that smells like how it'll taste anyway.
Yeah, they are hand-poured in Oregon, which is cool. I'm just reading the label. And they're themed to smell like gods may smell, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But all different like smells and varieties available. Yeah, people are out there making merch at the moment. And if we do get sent any products or stuff like that, thank you to Luna for sending these over. And we could try and showcase them and give you a bit of promotion.
Yeah, so this is this one right here I have is Mystic Ritual.
Hecate.
Yeah. It smells like violets, saffron, and vetiver. I don't know what that word is.
And then I've got a Baron Samedi one.
It smells nice. It smells like kind of like a soothing spa, I would say.
Soothing spa.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just like the tone change there as well. Like the advertising came out and the soothing spa.
Yeah.
I've got Baron Samedi, and this is peppercorn, rum, and sandalwood.
Oh, okay.
Rum? Maybe I can't taste this.
I mean, you got to have rum in
Can
the...
I have this at work? It smells good. I actually quite like it.
Smell good? Let me smell.
I'll have a smell. But yeah, candles.
Oh, yeah, this smells like one of those like man cavey, like barbershop kind of things. Like I need I know it's rum, but like
it hides the cigar smell.
Yeah, it's like cigars and whiskey and like dark wood paneling and leather. Yeah, I like it.
Love a Jean-Qui candle. Okay.
Yeah, so they're fun. And then the last one I have here, and she sent some other
There's quite a few. I just
brought
brought a couple in today, but there's
this one's Solar Blessing, featuring Ra, and it's tangerine, gardenia, and musk. And see what it smells like.
Would you describe Ra as tangerine, gardenia, and musk?
Yeah, it's like a flowery,
he's old, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So anyway, there's also
slightly off subject, but on subject.
There's other ones too. There's like a Bacchus one that smells like wine.
We can bring a couple of more in next week as well. But a couple of different variations available. I think there's like 6 available at the moment, but seems to be making more too.
Yeah. So Celestial Wicks, and it's. If you want to make your own Smite merch that has these have the real Smite logo and the Smite art on them, right? And literally all she had to do, or I don't know, Luna.
Luna. Yeah.
All she had to do was send us a really quick contract and she could make merch, right? Correct. So if you want to make merch with our stuff, let us know.
Hopefully some fireworks companies will get in touch soon and they can use the Raw America one officially. That'd be nice, you know?
Yeah. There is a $1 limit, so they might get into trouble there. But,
true. Well, it depends how good the fireworks
are. It's a relatively high dollar limit, though. It's mainly to prevent people from, running super duper professional businesses.
Yeah, it's what's stopping me, really.
That's
that's
it. But yeah, no. If you're into candles and you like some Smite stuff, this is kind of a fun thing. So fun to talk about that.
Are all the next travelers going to be Halloween themed or just their own thing with pumpkins in them?
I would say some of them are more Halloween-y skins. Some of them are less so.
Yeah.
There is. I know in the next update there's one that is a skin that is Halloween themed, and there's another one that is. It's a traveler that does not include any character skins. It's something different. It's something fun.
Okay.
That has a pumpkin in it.
We're leaking.
and it's not Halloween themed.
So
It's just
travelers
fun.
will have pumpkins in, but at the same time, not all those travelers are going to be themed.
Yeah,
Halloween-y, for
yeah.
sure.
I would say like they tend to be more Halloween-y or dark just because of the time period.
The time period at the same time, yeah.
Yeah, but they're not all going to be super Halloween-y. Did you watch the Nintendo Direct today?
I haven't had a chance yet.
I am very concerned about Metroid Prime 4
Why?
because it's like open world with a motorcycle.
Okay.
Like the point of Metroid Prime, like I love the Metroid Prime series. Like
We're going in deep here.
These like the intricately designed levels and how they interact with each other and working your way through them. Like I'm very concerned that there is an open world part of this game. Like the only way that I think it could possibly work is if it's kind of like Ocarina of Time or something where it's like there's an overworld that connects
And
the
then you go
actual
to the
thing
world.
together.
Yeah.
Like replace the elevators with like riding your motorcycle through the overworld. But like that was very worrying to me personally as a Metroid Prime enthusiast. Other than that, I was not super into anything.
I've not had
else
so much
that was
other
shown.
than seeing, like, I guess the new Super Mario's coming again. They're re-releasing Galaxy. Is that what I saw or something?
Okay, how much would you pay for Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 re-released in 2025 with, it's not a remaster, it's not a remake.
Do I get all my content from my last game in it?
It's everything that was in the old one, but not, oh, sorry, I see what
You know what I was doing?
I
there?
saw what you
Man, you were late. That would have been so good. I'm like, yes, of course, because that's what everybody does.
Yes. No, how much would you pay for the bundle?
I think I know the price point
you
is what
already
I
know the
heard.
price.
That's
Okay.
why I'm like, but I'm guessing it's like 70, 80, right?
It's $70, $40 each. They sold these games for $20 on
so
Wii
it's
U.
retro now.
They sold them for $20 on
Phil,
Wii U.
it's
They
retro
didn't
now,
update
so that
anything.
means it's like it's more classic. It's more valuable. Right?
They're great games. Like honestly,
sure.
they're worth the money. But it's just like you charged $20 for them like 10 years ago, and it's like you didn't update them, and now you're charging $40 for them. I don't know. It's just weird to me. Yes. Sorry, I have been distracted with the rage bait. Yes, Mario Galaxy was re-released on Wii U, and it was $20 at the time. But anyway.
Interesting.
Where are my Mario Galaxy skins on Nintendo Wii? Chat.
I baited him into that too. I'm sorry.
Why are mastery rewards locked behind a claim button? Can we not just unlock it when it's unlocked? So the initial goal of that system was to try and get people, when they're new to the game, to understand why they're getting rewards and where they're getting it from.
Which is fair. Yeah, I understand that.
And I think that part of the system is good because it's like you want to understand, oh, this system exists and I should interact with it and I should get things from it.
Sure.
I think that like it can get annoying if you've been playing the game for a long time. So maybe there's some like middle ground where it's like,
I think the point is like at the end of the game, you get out of the game, you get pop-ups of just receiving rewards. Understanding where those rewards come from is kind of the reason of like why there's a claim button there. So you can actually find it, identify it, go and find out, go, oh, I got that because of this, and not realizing it was just a random thing at the end of the day. Because we do so many random events as well, where you will earn gems or things at the end of the game. You know?
It's like, I just recently got some Halloween.
Just had a claim button. That's fair. I can see that one. For me, it's always the red dots. I understand the red dot indicating that, like, there's things in there that you've not witnessed yet. But my goodness, I hate it when I'm always trying to get rid of them. Because I'm just that OCD about it. That's me personally on the OCD side.
I think that you're either like, I must clear all the dots,
Gotta
or
get
you
rid of all
just
the dots. You just
accept
ignore
I
them.
will never clear all
It's
the
like
dots.
Discord messages and stuff like that. It's like, how's your email inbox? It's the same sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm not good about. Actually, my email inbox I'm pretty good about clearing, but like
Work ones, yes.
Yeah.
I've got to say that because, Kilgun's here. But work ones, yes. But however, home one's definitely a different story. So
yeah.
Red dot curse, agreed.
Red dot curse. Can we give any god or item ideas? Yeah, you can definitely give god or item ideas.
I thought you were asking us, can we? I'm like, I try. Last time I did that, Scotty Ice appeared, so I'm not going to do that anymore.
Bad idea. But no, yeah, if you guys have ideas, just, we read if you post them on the Reddit, if you, post them on our Discord, if you, post it on Twitter and it gets enough attention, we might see it as well, right? It's harder to know if we're going to see something that gets posted on Twitter, but yeah, we definitely take a look at everything. Big Olson says he hasn't deleted an email in 15 years.
You must pay for the service then, or get no emails.
Is
It's
your
one or
email
the
not
other.
full? Like, that's crazy. For classic skins from Travelers, when can we expect them to be purchasable with legacy gems? It was promised that when Traveler is over, they'd be acceptable, but as of yet, none have. I'm pretty sure they all have. Basically, it should be 8 weeks after the Traveler, the classic skin becomes available. It's in the classic skin chest, and I think they're mostly, if not all, also available for direct purchase. If there's a specific one that got missed,
mention it.
Please let us know. We'll fix it. We just we have to do it manually, and it's possible we missed one. But as far as I'm aware, they're all.
Chess responded saying that they are available.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Can we get a magical version of Oathsworn Spear for mages? I think this is really just people suddenly realizing that Oathsworn is like one of the best items in the game. First item for me on Pele.
There's always a lot of items that end up getting slept on for a while, and it takes even when they're getting picked, people don't really realize the power of them until later on. So yeah. What's your opinion on hybrid scaling now? And did you see Inter's recent video on it? I've not seen Inter's recent video.
I watched most of what he puts out, but I have not seen.
I started watching it just to see what his too long didn't read of the. I get very frustrated. No, this isn't a really shot like the content creators at all, but it's like we sit here for an hour answering all these questions, and they digest it into 3 or 4 minutes and go, and there you go. We'll see you next week. And I'm like, man, can we just do that?
Well, I think that
I'll just read chat for an hour and then.
It was kind of one of the reasons why we started this in the first place too. Was like giving people the opportunity to react to things and having an ability to make more
engagement
content.
Point.
Yeah, for sure. So. I'm okay with it,
Sure.
Every once in a while, the context of something that we said gets a little bit lost, and I'm like,
no, that definitely is the case. And you want to try to
that's life.
Going back to the actual question at hand, though, which was like regarding hybrid scaling. I personally think it's a better thing for the game as a whole. I don't think every single character, in my opinion, needs it. And this is just me or personal takes, by the way. But I do think there's a nice window to see some variation or some changes. I do think it makes it a little bit more complex for the development team to keep balancing of having intelligence and strength on items. But there's tools to be able to do that, of like raising stats individually of like how much percentage you're getting from them. I do think it gives a bit more viability to some of the gods that would make sense as both. But I don't think it needs to be forced on everybody.
Yeah, and I think that also again, not having seen Inter's video, I think that now that we've added like adaptive stats, I think that's helped a lot with some of the issues around hybrid scaling.
Yeah.
And also like we've started to add some abilities that are kind of adaptive as well, right? Where it's like, depending on which you have higher, it does something different, right? It's not just like it's scaling off of both. So you get to benefit from overstated items that have both stats on it. Dude, Manny is just baiting everybody today. Like, I've had so many people in chat say like, I thought there was a real person that was joining them on the show today, and it's like, no, it's Manny.
No, they just stuck with these two.
He wants a true hybrid build path to be viable, basically. Hybrid usually builds one or the other. Yeah, I think that kind of works.
I mean,
better usually. Like,
I get the idea of wanting both to be completely viable of like a full hybrid build of like I've got a mixture. You're always going to lean one way or the other anyway. I guess some of the this is without watching anything, so but I know some of the items like you'll get more strength for intelligence-based stuff, which one you've got more of, which means it's going to lean you one way or the other, and that's going to happen. I mean, hybrid.
So I guess
what is the difference in hybrid?
I guess the big thing is like there isn't a hybrid payoff item where it's like if both your int and strength are above X level,
then get a million extra damage.
Yeah, right. And I get that, right? Because like you do have things that are like it rewards you for building a lot of strength, or it rewards you for building a lot of damage. You don't have that. So that is a fair balance point that we could definitely examine. Yep. People are saying, you got to go hard in int to get to Hootie benefit.
Which is
hard in strength to get Heartseeker benefit. Yeah.
But I mean, I guess the thing in my mind is like at least there's flexibility there to be able to go one or the other and not just be pigeonholed into one and not get a choice in the other.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely better than like Smite 1 where it's like you're always going to Hootie. But it's like it's I can see that like you could potentially enable more mixed builds
if you did a payoff item, but then you just overstarting in a weird way of them.
Yeah,
and you're going to scale them down to.
I'm not
compensate
a designer.
for
I'm
those.
not going to try and solve that problem.
I'm literally thinking out this out loud of like potential issues. Devs will come in and go 3 words. There you go. That's the reason why or why not.
Yep. Just rework to Hootie into Meteor to Hootie and then buff all int items. Seems reasonable.
Kilgun and Hindu, design the item right now. It'd be perfect. Okay, let's go.
Geez.
Hybrid item that will give you some sort of payoff for building both intelligence and strength. Has to be usable on more than one role.
Yeah, I think that like, I don't know. I over design complicated shit. Like that's
I've
why
been playing
I'm not
Path of
a
Exile
designer.
2 a little bit lately again. So like when we talk about complexity, I'm like, okay, hear me out. So your intelligence scaling gives to your strength scaling gives to your intelligence scaling, and then you get a huge extra number damage because you've got so much. Because Path of Exile is like that.
Yeah, but like PvE stuff, you can do that. You can do like
Yeah,
just 10x
yeah.
multipliers and yada yada yada.
But then doing it with an actual comp game where you're like, wait, because I've got 50 strength, I'm now getting 100 intelligence too, and now because I've got 100 intelligence, I'm getting 50 strength. It's
yeah,
crazy.
I feel like, I don't know. You would want if you're going like something that's trying to reward hybrid, then you would also want it to somehow trigger off of doing things that tie into that hybrid.
To being hybrid,
right?
that's true.
So
Yeah.
it's either like there's a certain thing that triggers off of like in hands, and then a separate thing that triggers off of abilities, or a thing that triggers off of abilities differently based on whether they have more contribution from
One
int
or
or
the other,
strength
yeah.
or something, so that it's like, you know, if you use an int focus thing, you get 2 seconds cooldown off of every ability when you use
Feels
it.
like you need a PhD
And
to understand how
that's
that
what,
came
that's
to
why I'm
play,
like,
right?
yeah, it would just be really confusing. But I think that like that's like if you're leaning into the hybrid identity, you would want to like somehow do something that benefits both of them in an interesting way.
Someone said simple int strength item dot that like Crusher or Soul Reaver would be a good start. So like a dot item that just bows. Sure.
Yeah.
But is that really interesting?
Yeah.
Like that's, I guess, part of the question.
Is individual role SR still planned for down the line? Any other matchmaking changes planned, or are you happy with it? I think we can always make matchmaking better.
Improvements, yeah.
I think that largely it's in a pretty decent spot right now. Most of the bad matchmaking things that we get sent are, you know, usually it's like a low population region or a low population time of day, and somebody was in queue for a very long time because they couldn't find a match because they were either really high elo or really low elo. And then once you're in queue for like a certain amount of time, it's just like, F it, we'll find you a match,
Yeah.
right? Because we can't make you wait forever.
Yeah.
And it is quite a long time. It's not just like 3 minutes, right? So most of the bad matches, people are like, it popped instantly for me. Yeah, but the other people that were the harder people to find matches for have been waiting for a long time,
Yeah.
and this was the first option available to them. So I think that that's like the main issue, and I don't know the best way to solve that other than you just need more people at that elo range to address. So other than that, we're kind of marching forward. What's up with the laggy minions? If you have specific incidences where minions are seeming laggy to you, it would be great if you could like send over a video or send over a bug report form. We are working on some kind of optimizations around minions right now because minions are one of the most like CPU intensive things that are happening in the game at all times. So the single best place for performance improvements is making minions more performant. So we've been doing a lot. I say we. Jordan, who is much smarter than me, has been doing a lot of improvements on them. And it's possible that for certain people in certain cases, they may not look great. It could be a platform-specific thing. It could be something else. But please let us know, and we can take a look.
So I keep giggling because people keep asking. I keep seeing these questions in chat where it says, my dad works at Hi-Rez, and they just get me. He works at Hi-Rez, and he's working on scales with, an item that scales with mana regen. How is he doing? I don't know if that's Pon or Clumsy, but I'll ask him and find out. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know they'd be your dad. That's crazy.
Will we buff mage int items? How do you feel about mages? You have the stats.
I'll pull it up because I was about to say I'm pretty sure
they're doing
mages
okay now.
aren't doing badly.
Yeah.
Chat.
There was a period, a patch or two ago, where they were having some
Oh
trouble.
no, they had a half a patch of not being the great. I know.
I'm just saying, if you
Listen,
haven't played them recently, maybe.
everyone's always like mages, but they're jugglers, but they're solo lanes. Everyone's always complaining about their role.
Yep.
1, 2, 5, 6, 7.
Chat.
7 out of the 10 gods in the highest win rates right now are mages. Okay. Oh yeah. I guess we need to buff them.
Yeah, probably
I'm
not going to happen.
Not really shouting out the
Sorry,
person in
chat.
chat about that, but I'm just like, no, like they are doing okay. I do see people complain though from games of going, hunters need buffs, and I'm like, do they though? And like, this is just everyone's allowed their own opinion of a game.
The
and
role
everyone's
propaganda,
well,
you know.
when you play a role, you're going to witness things from your point of view and go, man, it feels like hunters do so much damage. And then when you play a hunter and you go, man, you've got to be in the right position all the time as a hunter, otherwise you are just dead.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm an awful hunter.
But you will do damage if
Yeah.
you can stay in the right position. Mage is the same way.
Yeah.
They do a ton of damage, but if they get caught out, they're going to be stuck.
I'm much better at playing mages than I am hunters, just because you can kind of like, on a lot of them, you can kind of like drop an ability from a safe distance and then like get out again, right?
Yeah.
Whereas hunters, you have to be so good at maintaining that range. And I'm just, it's the thing in Smite I'm the worst at, right? Because I mostly play like tankier characters, so I'm good at like getting in there, but it's like, no, I have to stay back. It's like, my brain doesn't work this way.
Well, it's when you get low and you're like, okay, if I go in now, I can finish the kill, but then you do that, you're out of position, then you die to something, or they live and turn it around. So
Yep. Mage Wukong slaps. Mage Wukong does slap. I would agree with that from my personal opinion. The int focus Wukong.
I've seen people frustrated at that, of him just poking people away.
Yeah. What's your perspective on gods being hard countered by the agility relic? For example, solo or mid rolls can rely on skill shots with raw or auto attacks with Bologna. I would say, I don't think that like, I think that if you choose to go ability relic, there is a trade-off, right? You aren't getting beads. You aren't getting
True.
Which you can use beads to hard counter an ability.
I was going to say,
right?
like, there's other hard counters in the game with beads and Aegis that like prevent people from doing stuff as well.
Like the whole point of a relic is basically like it lets you immune one thing in different ways.
Assist you in some way, but you're going to see non-assistance in other ways.
Yeah. So I think that like, again, the other thing is like, agility relic is not overly highly performing, right? It's not like people that buy agility relic are winning 70% of their games or anything, right? It's in the same ballpark as the other relics, and I think it's winning less than beads is, right? Like,
I don't know the stats of that. I've not got those in front of me.
Yeah, so it's like there are even with a short cooldown, it's not as good as beads. And I think that that's the important thing to like know as a player is that like
there's always going to be weird things. Of relics are always going to be that case of, you are right. I'm trying to continue with like beads, Aegis, stuff like that. They're always going to have a moment in the sun, so to speak, where they are the number one. However, beads has always been that. Blink has always tried to rise up and claim focus at times, but even that's not. But I get the idea of relic. Yeah, you can dodge some abilities with it, but then beads will let you immune an Ares ultimate, things like that. They do come. Aegis will stop a new war ultimate hitting you, and there's no counterplay to that.
Yeah, I think that like there is, some people I think just don't like playing against people that are agility, but I don't, I think that's just kind of a personal feels thing more than an objective balance thing.
True. No way, it's 1:59.
Is it already?
It is already
Time
1:59,
flies.
which means it's time, I guess, for
one more question.
That was the best one I've done yet. I'm so good
yeah,
at these.
So you're getting excited about it now.
Getting used to it now. Being on the show.
I have a cherry twist Alani today.
Water. We did it early.
We did.
Just for safety. We did
Because we had to turn the stream off.
Yeah, every time we turn the stream off, you go, oh no, we forgot to do that again today.
I'm
I'm shocked Yom didn't get a heal for his consuming bellow. He's consuming something, He's consuming his bellow. That's not consuming something.
Oh, is the bellow like all consuming?
I mean, a bellow is to like, he's just consuming his words, I guess. His voice. It's not edible. It's not going to give him a heal.
I think doesn't he like soak up his poison, right?
I guess, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. I get what they're at, though.
Yeah. I'm going to answer an actual Smite question.
Yeah,
as well,
I will find one.
But
as well.
what are your plans for this weekend?
I'm working. I mean, I'm working.
Yeah.
Smite Prime going on, stream team stuff. I'm always kind of around on the weekends to try and monitor bugs and stuff that end up coming through from competitive play to make sure we get prepared for the next week and get those all fixed in.
Yep.
And then you guys see them Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, that's why Hindu's not here on Monday, Tuesday. Because he works Saturday, Sunday.
Kind of around weekends.
And then he's off Monday, Tuesday. So
yeah. But what are your plans?
It's my birthday this weekend.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so,
how old are you now? Do you even want to say?
I don't really want to say on the show, but
I'm going to guess a young 32.
Oh, that's very generous of
33
you.
then.
Very generous of you.
Sure.
It's my birthday this weekend, so probably, I've got little kids, so probably just going to go out
Kids
to
and a
lunch.
wife, so it's going to be what the wife chooses. Like, hey, congratulations, we're going to go.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to eat lunch at the Mexican restaurant by my house.
Nice.
Nothing fancy, but that is what I have planned.
I mean, to be honest, everyone's birthday is different. They're like, you know what I want to do? Nothing.
Chat, I'm not 57. Come on. That's just
57?
rude.
Wow.
The Mulan enjoyer said I was 57. It's just,
Man, imagine being a Mulan enjoyer, looking for buffs every patch, and then roasting Kilgoon like that. What a mistake.
Brutal.
To make you ain't getting no Mulan love ever again.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to go nerf Mulan immediately. Just kidding.
Job
Sweet. No, I got to answer a real question. Let's see. A Smite question. Everybody's just wishing me happy birthday, which is nice of them. Mages feel bad in the sense that we have to pregame 2 6,000 gold items, which makes the power curve feel spiky and feels bad to build mage items. The mid game feels bad. So I think that like the feedback of I think that like this kind of ties back a lot into the feedback of Tahuti is kind of a must build.
Sure.
And a lot of your power is tied around when you get Tahuti online. And then I'm assuming the other item that you're talking about is like Obsidian Shard, right? Because you need a big pen boost.
Sure.
So I think that we are aware of the feedback around Tahuti and it being kind of a required item. And we have had some discussions around like, hey, can we move int into other items and move, pivot what Tahuti's doing. It's not the next balance thing that we are working on, but it is something that we have discussed because I think that like that's fair feedback.
I saw that question, but it was overinflated. 6,000 gold for 2 items. Okay, cool. But then other roles have 3,000 gold items as well. It's the same thing of like you spending 6,000 gold on something. If you want Thieves as a support, you're spending 2,300 gold, and I've got to get Thieves. Or Spirit Rubber, whatever. Stampede is 2,500 gold. Like all these roles have items that are around 3K that you have to spend.
Yeah, there are some games where it is just like. Recently, there have been so many slows in my games because I feel like I see Tsukuyomi and Yorm in every game, and I'm just like, I have to build Hussars every game because otherwise I can't move.
I think we go phases of playtests as well, where we actually end up going through and seeing a lot of slow gods and stuff.
Yeah.
Do I have one more question though? Because we have been going over.
We have been going over. Do you want to take a Smitey one, or are we going to call it?
I'm looking. Anyone got a last minute one? DJ Om Ganesha skin. I'll take that one. I don't know. Maybe one day in the future. But at the moment, I've not seen it. We just released a Ganesha one recently, and Plushie Ganesha is out. However, Plushie Ganesha is top tier, though, to be honest.
Yeah, Plushie Ganesha is pretty good. And especially, it came with the whole rainbow.
I would like a plushie of every god, personally, but that's just...
the plushie skins are some of my favorites. I love the chibi ones. I love the plushie. I love the gentlemen.
The gentlemen
are great. I was looking, we have like 3 or 4 gentlemen already in the game.
We do. We went with those early as well. I was like, okay.
Probably because I like them so much. But anyway.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Just rub it in. Anyway, chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us today on this Titan Talks. I know we didn't cover too much, but hopefully we gave you some questions and answers. Next week, we'll be back to unveil what's been going on in OB19 and hopefully have a lot of exciting things.
Yeah, we'll probably maybe we'll start teasing a few things on Monday. But definitely Wednesday will be the full, like, let's look at Shibalanke. Let's talk about exactly what's coming in the update. And then balance will probably be on Friday. So definitely.
You said Shibalanke is Wednesday, so now everyone's like, Shibalanke Wednesday.
Yeah, well, it should be because we should have BTS on Wednesday. So
okay. Cool.
Yeah, normally it's like Wednesday is the show where we talk about the god, and then PTS starts.
And then we show some notes of what's happening on the PTS and what's been going on.
Yeah.
Well, for that, enjoy your weekend, everybody. Hopefully Kilgoon has a great birthday, and we'll see you all next week, or we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.